edition of Charm City Heavyweights podcast, brought to you by Great 8 Sports Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, is my co-host, Josh Merrill. What's going on,
What's up,
Josh?
Matt? Coming live from the man cave. Everybody's happy. Everybody's sad. This sucks. This was the worst thing that could have happened. This is what I was worried about. This is the message I was trying to relay to you guys this morning and other people throughout the week. I had a bad feeling about this fucking game. We just had a big division win. It felt good. We got 2 division games coming up after it. Backup quarterback. It was just a perfect scenario for a fucking trap game. We played down to their level. The line looked like shit. Lamar, everyone on offense had a bad game. Zay Flowers not knowing where to line up. I know he made some catches. We'll get into that, but lining up in the wrong spot, not sitting on a route and still going across, which should have been a first down, which should have been a flag. All kinds of other shit. We didn't deserve to win anyway. Fuck that flag. We had enough opportunities to put that game away and win that game. Being careless with the football. I don't want to hear weather because it wasn't really raining that hard during the game. Bullshit. This is Baltimore. So, whatever, man.
Yeah, it was hard to sit through today.
It was an ugly
You
game,
almost got the
start to
feeling
finish.
early. It, it was ugly, but you almost got the feeling early on that uh, we weren't prepared. It was just a total shit show from start to finish. The the team really looked like it was missing Stanley and Linderbaum today. I'm not making excuses for injuries because this is the NFL. It's next man up always. Especially that's the motto that John Harbaugh has lived by for 15 years as the Ravens coach. Um, I think we overlooked them a little bit. I think it was a little bit of like, oh, this is a banged up indie team coming into Baltimore. This is our house type of situation.
And they punched us in
I
the
got a
mouth,
little
and they
pissed
wanted it
off
more
at the
today.
officiating. They punt. Oh, yeah, they wanted it more.
Mm.
Um, I hate I hate blaming the referees for shit like that. Even though I'll say this, I watched the video before the game today with Bruce Arians talking to a podcaster about the officiating for the last couple of years and how it's getting progressively worse. And he thinks that the NFL officials should be full time NFL employees and not part time to where they're
I
lawyers
thought
and
they already
judges
did
and
that.
things of that
Wait,
nature.
wait a minute. I
Um,
thought we already did that.
no, no, they're still part time.
Wow.
They're still part time,
But there's a certain amount that are
and
full time now.
it's yeah. It's a lot that it's a lot that goes into it, and we got out coached and we got outplayed today, and it was just infuriating to see it and infuriating to witness it, where we looked completely unprepared to play football against these guys today. They punched us in the mouth from the start of the game. They hung in there. They converted on big third down plays. They pushed the ball down the field, and they wanted it more than we did. It just seems to be a recurring theme, Josh, that at least once a year we have a boneheaded play down to the talent level loss at M&T Bank under John Harbaugh.
It happens, man. It happens. There was a lot of goofy games in the NFL today. Unfortunately, it happens. I think today the story of the game is not being able to hold on to the ball, and the other part of the game is injuries added up today. Losing Gus, losing Ajabo, even though Ajabo was not playing well before he got hurt early in the game. He was getting sucked inside and gave up a few runs. But I do think injuries caught up to us today. It's one of them ugly games, man, that we, as Ravens fans, we've gotten used to being
Hey,
on the winning
Josh,
side of. What?
got us a guest, Josh. He's popping on in. Super Bowl 47 champion Bernard
Oh,
Pollard in the
shit.
house, talking Ravens and
He
Colts.
came, he came on and went off. There he is.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Bernard? We're not in a
What's up,
good mood,
Bernard?
bud. We're upset
You're not in a good mood? Why you not in a good mood?
because we lost.
Hey, them things come and go, man. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Hey,
This sucks.
Bernard, thanks for joining the show, man. I told you, in a message, I wanted to surprise Josh and didn't want to know you
Yeah.
were coming on. But
I was about
yeah,
to cuss
thanks
you
for
out
joining the
for.
show,
I
man.
was
I've
in
been
the
trying to
middle of
get you
saying
back.
something. I was about to cuss you out.
Don't cuss him out, man. Don't cuss
I
him out.
won't.
I
I
know you were in
won't.
the
I
middle of
won't.
saying something. I know you were about to.
You're good.
So, Bernard, thank you for joining the show, man. It's great to have you stop by as always in your professional podcasting studio now. Looking good
I
back
know,
there.
right?
Nice.
We kind of went on our little rant there, Bernard. The Ravens played down to their competition today. They lost a game that they should have handily won. A lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers, a lot of poor clock management, and to be honest, this is a lot of the stuff that you've been vocal about over the years. When it comes to critiquing the team that you played for so many years. Uh, did you get a chance to watch any of the game today?
I did. I did. And I don't know. I'm not going to say that they played down to their level. I mean, the defense is elite. Um, this defense did a really good job today, getting after the quarterback, stuffing the run. They gave up some big plays, but at the end of the day, what we used to say is they're pros as well. They get paid too. And when you look at offensively, I think the biggest thing, my concern is, as I've said for so long, with this team. And this is nothing negative about Lamar. This is nothing negative about the Baltimore Ravens. I was actually just talking to a guy on Twitter and earlier today, and he was just like, man, because he's a Colts fan, he's from Indiana, but he was like, man, y'all beat me, and I was just like, man, look, I just want to see good football. I'm no longer on their payroll. I love my time with the Ravens. I'm forever grateful for the Ravens, but I like to see good ball. And when I look at this football team, when I look at the investment that they made in Lamar Jackson, that's the biggest concern that I see. Lamar Jackson struggles still mightily with throwing the football, finding things and aware in the pocket. He's still struggling there. And the type of money that he's making, and granted, as I've said, and as so many people have said before, he deserved that money for what he's done for the Baltimore Ravens. But when we look at what's going on right now, that's always been a concern of mine about them paying him, is simply because Lamar, I don't think can get the Baltimore Ravens to a Super Bowl throwing the football. Running the football, he's exciting. I mean, he's exciting, but as I've said before, those hits cost something. Those yards he's running for cost something. When all everybody got to do is just take the middle of the field away from him, and he can't throw the ball over the middle. I mean, literally, that's what they started to do after some point defensively. Just take the middle away and just play match one and just start doing that. And he's going to struggle when it's time for him to throw outside the numbers. He struggled bad. And I mean, I like it. This is not hating. I don't dislike Lamar. I don't know Lamar. But when I watch the games, this has been my concern, and it continues to be my concern.
For me, it's consistency. I agree with everything you said, Bernard. But like last week in Cincinnati, this is what frustrates me with Lamar, and has always been my concern is he'll have a game like last week in Cincy where he's hitting beautiful passes outside the numbers, and he's on the money, but he can never just do it consistently over and over and over. And unfortunately, that's my concern with getting to a Super Bowl with him as well, because there's going to come times in the playoffs where you got to win throwing the ball. Look at Super Bowl 47 when you guys won. Why did we win that Super Bowl? Joe got red hot with his arm,
Yeah, he did.
and that's what it takes to get there. I don't
No,
want to agree with you, Bernard, but I do.
I mean, look, this is what it is. And I mean, as you guys have watched football for so long, as I continue to tell people, number 8 is exceptional. He is athletic. He can run. But there are 11 guys on that defensive side of the ball that can run just as well. And so at some point in time, it's going to catch up with him. So, like I said, once again, the concerns, and as you said, consistency, that's always been my thing with him, is consistency. Can he consistently throw the football as a quarterback? And right now, it's no. Do I trust him at the quarterback position throwing the football? No. Do I trust him to be athletic and make some plays? Yes. But at the end of the day, they're paying running backs, they're paying wide receivers. You paid a lot of money and gave guaranteed money to a wide receiver that's not on the field. That was another concern of mine with them forking all that money out. And once again, it was just, to me, it was desperation. We need to sign somebody, so give him all the money in the world that he's asking for, or make it guaranteed, and we're going to be good. No, that doesn't solve the problem. He came off of an injury and he's been out of football for quite some time. That's a no-no. So that signing was desperation with OBJ. Then we look at everybody saying, okay, well, it's Zay Flowers. But at the end of the day, guys, we've got to understand, Zay Flowers is still a rookie. Rookies get you beat. That's just what this game is. He's learning every time he step out on the football field. He's only 3 games in. So he has 3 games of NFL experience. I care about camp and everything else, but that's going against, each other and things of that nature. So, I believe he's going to be, an exceptional guy, but at the end of the day, it goes back to consistency, but then it also goes back to concern for injury. Investment into Lamar Jackson, forking all that money over. If he's running the ball the way he's running, getting the contact that he's getting, look, he's not going to be able to play a whole season. He's going to miss a couple games here, couple games there. But if he takes the right hit, he's going to be gone. And then now we're back in the same situation now we got a backup quarterback. We lost some important games. We either didn't make the playoffs or we got bad seeding in the playoffs. And then now Lamar comes back. Now he got his contract, but everybody has him pegged. So if Lamar can't run, he's not valuable to the Baltimore Ravens, because if he has to sit in the pocket and be patient, he still is not settled in the pocket. And we were to bring, they brought an offensive coordinator in to throw the ball, to stretch the ball down the football field, to be able to throw the ball around the field, to open up those lanes as far as his mind, opening up those lanes to be able to throw the ball. And to me, this is Greg Roman's offense, but just spread out. Run Lamar, but just spread everybody out. And that's just, to me, I don't like it. That's running these quarterbacks is not the answer. Just look at Chicago Bears. Running Justin Field is not the answer. Justin Field is not the answer, period. Get a new quarterback. Somebody needs to be fired in Chicago. Somebody got to go. They got to go. In Baltimore, running Lamar is exciting, but it's not the answer, because as we see, we're still keeping teams close. When Lamar is running, the clock is running, and then if he doesn't convert and throw the football and get first downs or throw for touchdowns, which he didn't today, you keep the team in the game.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
I agree with you, Bernard. It's crazy, man, because I'm watching the game progress, and they're hanging in there. The scores, mostly within a field goal of each other for the entirety of the game. And then the minute things started looking bleak, it's almost like Lamar reverted back to what he knows, and that's the planned runs, the relying on his legs, running up the middle, and trying to gash the defense for big gains. And the difference between now and 2019, he was 22 years old, 23 years old doing that, and now here he is 26, almost 27, and these dudes can catch him. It looks like the speed of the game is, the speed of his game is being caught up by the rest of the league's defenses, and it's like they're planning for it. The Colts have fast linebackers. They have good tackling secondary. So to me, even though he was gashing them for over 100 yards rushing, he didn't throw a touchdown pass today. We didn't get any of the receivers any separation. Monken didn't have him push the ball downfield at all. It was almost like he was too comfortable taking what the defense was giving him. And it cost us because not only that, he's careless with the football. And I thought that's something that you would want to clean up, being as though you got paid $260 million over the next 5 years. And it almost feels like now, whenever I see the pocket collapse around him, Bernard, that you fear that somebody's going to give him a strip sack because it seems like it's all too easy to
Yeah.
hit him from a certain angle and he just drops the ball and lets it go.
Right. Well, it's tough. I mean, when you look at it, I don't think he's purposely trying to, and I'm not saying you're saying that, but I don't think he's purposely trying to fumble the ball. But I think it goes back to when
Right.
everybody is talking and saying that, he's Superman. Well, no, 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 no. We don't need him to be Superman. We need him to facilitate and get the ball to the guys so that they can do the things to be exceptional. When you look at this game, the top receiver had 48 yards receiving. 48. 4 receptions, 48 yards, or eight, I'm sorry, 8 receptions, 48 receiving. So at the end of the day, like as I've said before, and I'll say it again, crossing routes ain't gonna get you beat. When the Baltimore Ravens are running these crossing routes, they're hoping to potentially outrun somebody, break a tackle to take them for a long game. This has been the Baltimore Ravens offense since 2019. Yes, he's taken some shots downfield. As I've said before, every quarterback in the National Football League, starter or backup, can throw a fade ball. They can throw a post. They can throw the ball down the football field. Now, how are you facilitating and throwing intermediate? How are you throwing outside? How are you doing those things? And this is where I think Lamar struggles. And once again, this is not hate. This is I played the game. This is when I look at the game, I'm evaluating and I'm looking at like those deficiencies and things of that nature in the player because that's what I had to do for so long playing this game. I see Lamar struggling. I see him struggling there. And as you said, when you started out, Matt, when you look at him, he's resorting back to what he did, and that's run. Those are his instinctively, and especially, and I'm going to be transparent with black quarterbacks. Most black quarterbacks, their instincts are to run because they're so athletic. And from Pee-wee all the way to pro, everybody's been saying, okay, he can run, let him go. That's why if you hear everybody talk, when my son cuts on ESPN in the mornings when he's getting ready for school or coming down making his breakfast and his lunch and things of that nature, you're hearing these analysts talk and they're going, well, just Justin Field needs to run the ball, and he was a great runner, and I think the Chicago Bears need to look at allowing him to run. A couple years ago, allow Lamar Jackson to run. No, that doesn't solve anything because now you're opening up the guy that's running. You're opening him up to hits. Now, who is going to throw the football to the guys that are supposed to be receiving? Let's hand the ball off to the guys that are supposed to run. So that's why I don't like this Superman label because when you put the label on him, he's trying to do everything. He's dropping back for a pass to run. He's got design run plays, and it's just he's doing too much, and that's what causes the fumbles or the interceptions. You saw today he panicked a couple times in the pocket and threw it like it was a hot potato. And he's not settled. I don't see him settle in his offense. And when you look at it, you're like, okay, wait, he got paid, and he got paid in time to be in camp, and you're just seeing a lot of really bad habits that he's had before, and you're still seeing those. And so for me, I'm seeing either the offensive coordinator is like, yeah, I see what Greg Roman was doing. I'm just going to let this kid be him. And, I mean, let's ride this horse until the wheels fall off. That's what I see right now. We're just going to kind of resort back to letting Lamar run, not letting him read things, just let him run. But at the end of the day, you got an investment in him. You're paying him too much money to be letting him run, opening him up to potential injuries.
I absolutely agree with you. Every time he runs now, I cringe, man. I just want him to get down and not get killed, I just watched Jimmy Garoppolo get bent in half. I'm afraid that's going to happen, so I hate seeing him run. Yeah. I did not expect him to run so much today. It's dangerous to me. He is the franchise. We gave him the bank. Everything is about him. He is the face. I don't agree with putting him in danger, but that was a big question I had before the season. Me and Matt talked about it a lot. Was if things aren't going well, if he's not settled in the offense, will they go back to the Greg Roman style? Running Lamar and all that, and yeah, I guess that they will do that.
Yeah,
it's just dangerous. It's not worth the risk because if he goes down, we have no chance of anything.
But if he can't pick up this offense, you almost just spread him out and allow him to do it. You know what I mean? Like, so basically, they're taking away the big packages where they were coming in first and second down. Now they're just saying, okay, we're going to come in with true kings or queens, which kings is three receivers, a tight end, and a running back, or queens, 4 receivers and a running back, and saying, okay, let's just spread everybody out and then call design runs instead of bringing in the big, package. So I don't like it. And as a Raven fan was saying earlier today to me, we're winning, we're 2-0 and we're winning. Yeah, it sounds good until you start losing, until more and more injuries are piling up. And it sucks to see for me as a former player, and I'm seeing how a lot of these quarterbacks are being taught, like I said, from Pee Wee all the way to pro. They're allowing those instinctive things to try to take place. Nothing's wrong with evading a rush and getting to the sideline and getting down. But for when I'm asking my quarterback to run the ball, to pass the ball, to go win the game, to go get the first down, to go do, like, they're literally putting everything in Lamar's hands. So when Lamar's trying to do everything that they're allowing him to do, injury, fumbles, turnovers, all of that's going to happen. And then you see a stagnant offense. And that's exactly what you saw today. You saw balls being rushed out of his hands, thrown behind the receivers. You see those things, and defenses are seeing that. And so now, as you said, Matt, earlier before, he was able to run away from everybody because those young legs are something else. We all been there before. We've been young. We've been able to do special things with these them good legs, that muscle and everything else. As you get older, and yes, 26, 25, 26 is not old, but in football years, that's old. He's taking a pounding. And if we can sit back and say, well, hold on, how does the NFL and how are execs looking at running backs and saying, they're taking a beating, so we don't want to pay them that money, but we want to put a quarterback in that position to go run like that. What sense does that make? We're literally saying a running back is getting beat up. Don't put him in that position, or don't pay him because he's getting beat up because of the runs. Well, these quarterbacks are rushing for 1,000 yards a season, but we're saying keep going out there and doing it. No, we got to look at them the same way. But then you make a big investment. If an average quarterback in today's football makes $100 million average, if you're average, we got to think about that. Wow. Literally, an average quarterback makes $100 million. Lamar signed almost a $200-something million contract. We've got to look at, okay, what's the shelf life? What is it? Because he's going to take hits, as we've all seen. In 3 games, he's taken a lot of hits already. More are coming as the season progresses. Those hits, legs slow down, they stiffen up, whatever it may be. Can he go win a game with his arm? I don't see it. And, I mean, let's be honest, the AFC North, I mean, you got top rushers in Cleveland, you got top rushers in Pittsburgh, and you got top rushers in Cincinnati. So this is a hard division. I think the hardest division in football. So, I mean, he's taking hits from AFC South teams who's soft as tissue paper. But it's gonna get even worse once we start, the division play and consistency, or getting consistent with this schedule.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man, because looking around, the league right now, or looking around the division, Cleveland just had a very good performance, and they seem to be starting to click. Here we are, the injuries, like you just mentioned, Bernard, they're piling up now, and we lost Gus today. We don't know what's going on with Gus. We don't know what's going on with Justice Hill with his toe. Now we're looking at the prospect of our starting running back going into the Cleveland Browns game in week 4 being Melvin Gordon or Kenyon Drake, who Kenyon Drake just got signed a couple of days ago. His first play back as a Raven, he catches a pass over the middle, runs upfield, gets hit from behind, fumbles the ball, and he's down. So
and everything went to hell after that.
It did. But Bernard, playing for Harbaugh, you played for John. If you fumble that ball and you're a running back, you're never going to see the field again. He doesn't matter how good you are. So it's like now we're going into this. We lost David Ojabo today. Marlon's still out. Stanley's still out. Linderbaum is still out. Owe was out today. We're getting down to bare bones on key positions.
Yeah.
And if you can't beat Gardner Minshew at home, what makes you think you're going to be able to go into Cleveland, go into Pittsburgh, and then you're going to London,
Yeah.
which I have PTSD from the last London game we played, Bernard,
Yeah,
where the
that was
Jaguars put up
terrible,
almost
man.
50 on us. So,
That was bad.
so
Mm.
I know that we've been focusing a lot on the offense, Bernard, but I wanted to ask you about the defense today, particularly Kyle Hamilton. Looked
Yeah.
like he was
Oh
by
my
and
God.
large the best player on the field today for the
Right.
Ravens defense. He had 3 sacks in the first half, which is
Yep.
unheard of for safety in today's game.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Mike McDonald got too blitz happy with him, and they started sliding protection his way with either a running back, a tight end, or a wide receiver chip plus the tackle. So it still wasn't working, and now all of a sudden you're leaving the secondary, in a cover 1 or cover 0 setting, and Marlon's not out there. So you got Ronald Darby, who's recovering from an ACL tear, and Rock Ya-Sin, who was not healthy for majority of camp, out there covering a 6'4" Michael Pittman Jr. And it was just like, what are you doing? Alex Pierce is good too. The Indy
Right.
doesn't have bad wide receivers. So what did you see from the defense today? Because you said that we have an elite defense in the beginning of the show, and I trust your opinion because you were a part of one of the most elite defenses we've ever had. So what did you see from the defense that gave you? Did you see anything that gave you cause for concern?
I mean, obviously the injuries are a concern for everybody, watching the Baltimore Ravens. But I think, it's so embedded with the Ravens, that defensive mindset, that aggressive. We're going to blitz. We're going to do different things to make things look different for you. We're going to bring bodies that you would never think we were going to bring. As you guys said, Hamilton getting 3 sacks, and I mean, he played well. He is a player to me where I watch him, and I mean, I really think he's a really good player. I think he fits in Baltimore. I think he's a guy where, a lot of people said, for me, they said I thought I was a box safety and didn't think I could play the middle of the field or play in halves or whatever it may be. I think when I watch him play, he's comfortable around the line of scrimmage. You see, that's where that's where he's set, right? Like, he's free, closer to the line of scrimmage, blitzing. He's a big body that can blitz, and he can run. So, when you look at him, the front seven by far is phenomenal. The front seven for the Baltimore Ravens, even with injuries, they were able to get pressure. They like I said, they got tackle for losses, things of that nature. So the guys are stepping up, and I think they're doing a really good job saying next man up. I'm not looking at this game and saying that the defense lost the game. I'm going to say it was a collective effort, because simply, if offense can't, if they're off the field quick and not converting, getting close enough. Yes, Justin Tucker is phenomenal, but, putting him in situations and thinking he's going to be able to continue to kick 60, 61-yarders, 62-yard field goals for wins, that's asking a lot. Even though, yes, he's going to go down as the best kicker in the National Football League ever. But I think, when you look at this defense, McQueen, Smith, those guys, I think interior, as far as your linebackers, are probably two of the best on the same team to do it. When you look at how they're clicking, when you look at the flow of how they move and the speed that they play with, this defense is elite. Losing Humphreys and waiting for him to come back, that's a huge blow, because he's a guy who I think brings energy. He brings that lockdown mentality. He brings that ball hawk mentality, and he's just a straight up playmaker who can potentially shut down a side of a football field. But the guys that are in are doing a really good job. The play with the receiver, who was it? Oh my gosh, who was that? I
I
think it
think
was
it was
Pittman.
Stevens.
No, it was Pittman. So the long
Yeah.
ball on Pittman today, he did a
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal job trying to punch through the basket and get the ball out. That was a 50-50 ball. The safety came over late. I think it was 26 in the end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
Looked like he had a stinger or whatever. But
Stone. Yep.
yes. So it was it looked like he had a stinger. But you look at those plays, and that sucks to have had happened. But at the end of the day, it happens. I thought the defense played well enough to win the football game, to lose 22-19, and they kicked a whole bunch of field goals. Guys, we got to score touchdowns. We've
Yeah.
got to score on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I had no issue with the defense today. I thought the defensive line was explosive.
Yeah,
Hamilton
it
had
didn't
the
look like
game of his life.
He definitely did, and
Y'all can't be having us on this long
believe that
pause.
Hamilton. So my screen froze for a second, but I just wanted I do believe that Hamilton did have the game of his life to date, and it's I just feel like we're still missing like that initial edge rush. Bernard, when you were here, I mean, it was a different kind of game when you had Kruger and McPhee on their first rookie contracts. You had a veteran and Suggs. You had Upshaw. Those type of guys. That was a whole different defense. But it doesn't seem like we got that elite edge rusher right now that's making it easier for the back end to make plays. And I just think that if we were a little bit more healthy on the back end, a lot of those big plays don't happen. But like you said, the front seven is an elite unit led by Roquan Smith. I didn't like the fact that the offense was not sustaining long drives the way they were in the first couple of weeks, to where the defense was on the field a lot in the second half. And I feel like that was part of the reason why that bend, don't break mentality that the defense lives by, they kind of broke a little bit because they were just exhausted being out there. The offense, when we got the ball with 2 minutes left in the game and the offense goes 3 and out,
Yeah.
and we don't capitalize on the safety, it just seems like they were just run ragged at that point. And you can't be mad at them. They spent a lot of time on the field, and like
And
you
don't
said,
forget, they weren't really rotating.
they're sending
They weren't rotating at all. So those guys were out on the field the entire game. They did everything they could to win that game.
Right.
I mean, we were down to Jadeveon Clowney and Jeremiah Moon.
Yeah.
At edge, and Clowney he was wreaking havoc all day. He should have had a couple sacks, but it just seems like we're just missing that guy, Bernard. Do you believe that they're missing like that Suggs type of guy to where they can have somebody apply consistent pressure on the quarterback of the other team?
I'm going to say no. I mean, Suggs is he's a guy. It's hard to replace that. He is a phenomenal talent, size, speed, awareness, his smarts. Dude was just phenomenal. Terrell was outstanding and is a Hall of Fame player. So when you look at that, the guys that are with the Baltimore Ravens right now can do the same thing. I think when you look at any organization in the National Football League drafting defensively, the Baltimore Ravens are the only football club, organization that will draft consistent talent, rushing a passer, as far as linebacker or secondary. They are the only team. They don't really miss when it comes to defensive players that they select. And I'm just that's just me. The little bit that I know about football over the years, the Baltimore Ravens really don't miss. So I'm not going to sit here. I think the guys that are with the team, yes, there are some injuries to the team offensively and defensively that hurts. But when you look at it, as you said, Clowney was a couple steps away from getting a couple sacks. And that's Minshew understanding. And I think, me personally, I think if Richardson plays this game, the Indianapolis Colts lose. Because I think that rush and the way that they were playing, how fast they come in, collapse in the pocket, things of that nature, I think he panics. But Minshew has been around and he understands. He may not be elite like we want to say or put certain labels on quarterbacks, but he's been around and he's played really good football before it, and he's been on winning football teams. And he's won a lot of games in his career. And so he understood the clock in my head. I got to get the ball off now because these boys coming after me. And so I stand by that. If Richardson plays in the game today, the Indianapolis Colts lose. Because I think they startle him, they shake him, and he throws them a couple interceptions or fumbles the ball, or takes sacks or whatever. But the injuries are there. We can't dodge those. Those happen in this game, but I still look at the product that's on the football field, and I say they can get after the quarterback. They can make plays. Yes, we don't like to see the deep balls. We don't like to see the big plays, but they weren't big plays for touchdowns per se. They were big plays for first downs, and they still nutted up and really only gave up 3 points. They kicked multiple field goals. So, we've got to take our hat off to the guys for that. You don't want to see the big plays to get down the football field, but the guys are fighting. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But I think it goes back to the offensive side of the ball, and that's why I want to say it collectively. You've got to point the fingers to everybody. You just can't. And I will probably go another step and say I'm gonna point more at the offense because they've got to score. They've got to go do things. I mean, look, we signed OC. You signed the quarterback to a lot of money. We have got to make plays. We've got to put Zay Flowers in positions to be successful. We've got to do those things and score and capitalize.
Absolutely. We're not going to win too many games.
Right. Because Mark Andrews still playing offensively. Last I checked, he's still healthy. Where he at? Yeah. He got to play. Yeah. We got to find a way to call plays, to isolate him, whatever it may be. We've got, they've got to do a better job of that. And this goes back to they hired an OC to open up the passing game. Why is this looking so stagnant right now? Why are they looking stale in a sense? Why is it looking like just a Greg Roman's offense, but we kind of put a little bit of sauce on it? I mean, when I watch the game today, I'm looking like this ain't nothing but a bona fide Greg Roman offense. We just spread them out. And like I told people, Greg Roman can do that. He can go and spread you out and call running plays. But he did what Lamar was good at, running and selling the run to create the pass. And I think they're going to end up going back into that.
I hope you're wrong, Bernard. God,
it's crazy. Bernard, Josh and I have been talking about it since the start of the season. It seems like, I mean, I know that you're not, local anymore, but Andrews missed quite a bit of training camp, and he showed a lot of emotion in training camp, in the open sessions to the media and during the preseason. I think that Andrews struggled with the fact that with this offense, he's not the focal point of the passing game like he was under Greg Roman. And any football fan with a little bit of football knowledge knows that Roman's offense was run first, and then he relied on the tight ends down the seams or in the soft spots of the zone coverage, however they could get open. And it seems like Andrews had full autonomy to kind of stick to the routes that he knows to get open for Lamar, because him and Lamar had that connection. But now, with the addition of Zay, with the addition of OBJ, with Bateman being healthy, and now having an offensive coordinator that specializes in spreading the ball out, it seems like the disconnect from the training camp and the early part of the preseason is kind of affecting Andrews. I know he missed the opening game, and he came back last week, and they immediately got him involved. But today, it just seemed like like you said, they took away the middle of the field for him. Those linebackers sat in zone 15 yards down the field and took away all of Andrews' running lanes. And like you said, he wasn't seen much after the first few times they threw him the ball. And it looks like we're also incorporating a lot more of bubble screens and quick pop passes to Flowers. But if you don't have the players on the outside that are able to block and make those plays happen, it seems like it's pretty much a negative run play at that point.
Yeah, those are bona fide toss sweeps. I mean, that's what we call them. Like, if you want to bubble the running back out, if you want to bubble the slot, like they basically just lined up and said, okay, this is toss left or toss right. When you look at what's going on and what I see with Andrews is, his longest play today was 20 yards. He ended up finishing the game, I think, 4 for 35. And so what I see is, the frustration where he's got to now run routes. And forgive me, I shouldn't say now run routes. He's running his routes, but now with this in this system, the progression for the quarterback is going to go, right 1, 2, 3 to left, or left 1, 2, 3 to right, whatever it may be. But I think it's a bunch of things, and I think where the frustration, and I could be wrong, but I'm throwing this out there. He's got to run his routes. And if he's first, or if he's not first, if he's second or he's third, the problem is if there's rush, because there were times where Lamar had to evade the rush early on. So if there's a rush there, then that means Lamar's not getting to that second and that third progression. So when you're seeing, okay, Andrews was that one guy all the time, and he was constantly getting the balls and things of that nature. Now we see 4 balls, but 4 for 35, but the longest gainer was 20. It's just that's where the frustration is at, because with him running his routes and we all saying Lamar instinct is to run. When all else fails, run. That's what he's been doing for so long. Run. And that's, yes, it's a blessing and a curse. Because yes, it's a blessing because you're exciting and you can do those things, but it's a curse because when you rely on that, that's what you think is going to be the answer. And now more and more people are just caught up on it, film and everything else, that it's becoming a curse. And as you play year in and year out, like everybody was saying when Lamar was a rookie in the second year, when I kept telling everybody it's going to be hard to win a Super Bowl with a guy like that, everybody looking like, oh, he's 23, he's 22, he's 24. Guys, he's getting older every year, and every time you use that excuse, I mean, for me as a football guy, I'm like, y'all understand those hits cost something. Running around those 1,000 yards cost something. All of those things cost something. So that's where, like I said, I think the frustration, and I could be totally wrong. I doubt I am, but I could be totally wrong. It's going to take them. They're going to have to figure this thing out to get this offense active and for them to be scoring points, because as you guys said, going to Cleveland, Cleveland just beat up on the Titans. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They beat a team that's down. If the Baltimore Ravens, they know the Cleveland Browns not just going to roll over. Deshaun Watson got to prove himself. He's got to prove himself. This running game, they're going to come out here. They're going to try to run the ball, but then they got a couple really good receivers and a tight end that can play. So they've got to be ready to go, which I think they'll answer the call. But offensively, what are they going to do? Because they got some pass rushers that's going to get after this boy.
Yeah, we don't know, right? Because we've seen like a lackluster offense. We've seen an elite offense, and then today we just seen, I don't know what it was, man. I don't know what you call it. It was bad. The ball was going all over the place. The line that would look gold last week, looked like they forgot how to play. And before this show ends, I want to make sure to bash Isaiah Likely, and I love Isaiah Likely.
That drop ball.
But that hit him, dude. I know I could never play in the NFL. I look like I probably could be a lineman, but I couldn't. I think I could have caught that, dude. It hit him right between the titties, right in the chest, man.
I'll say,
and it was a dart. Lamar did throw a dart. There was 3 defenders in the area, and he threw a dart. And he dropped it. And we feel, I mean, I probably would feel a lot better if we'd have won the game. But I think this would have been one of them games like the first game, Matt, where it was like if we would have won it, if he would have made that catch, I think Tucker would have made the kick. I would bet money on that. But do you think, Matt, it would have been one of those feelings like week 1 where we won, but it almost felt like we lost because it just didn't feel good? It didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talked after the Texas game, Bernard. Josh and I went on air, and it was like, yeah, we won, but it felt like a loss because we played like absolute dog shit. And we just happened to run into C.J. Stroud in his first career start.
Rookie.
Rookie.
and that was a blessing in disguise. And it's what do you make of this offense, Bernard? Because like you said, they spent all this money on OBJ. He didn't play this week. He had an ankle issue. Um, they're trying to get Zay involved. They're trying to get Bateman back involved because Bateman was very
Bateman got
vocal in the
hurt again today.
offseason.
You guys know that, right?
And then you're
Yeah,
still trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
run the
Yeah.
yeah. Bateman got banged up. Gus got banged up. What do you make of this offense now, Bernard? It's like we're going into Cleveland. It's historically we've had trouble playing there recently, and then on top of all that, your top 4 running backs are out. And what do you do at that point when you are going to have to go into a situation where the only way you're going to offset that pass rush is if you can run the ball on them guys? And I don't feel confident with Melvin Gordon being the number 1 back. And after Drake had his fumble today, I doubt Harbaugh starts him. It's crazy.
I was surprised he got back in the game today, to be honest, because my dad said when he fumbled, my dad's like, "Oop, he's gone."
I mean, when you're down on backs, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
got to
he
play.
had
You
no
got to play the
choice.
guys. Yeah, you got no choice.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think when you look at this, first and foremost, is a divisional game. So both teams are going to be amped up, ready to go. Um, I look at this offense, and even from game 1, all the way to now, we're only 3 games in, but this has always been a concern. I'm just being honest, and I'm not, once again, there's no hate, but I wasn't impressed game 1. I'm not impressed game 3. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be impressed game 4, simply because I know what's going on. I know how Cleveland's going to move that defensive front around. They're going to blitz. They're going to put Lamar in situations. Or they're going to turn the film on, and for me as a defensive coordinator, them being in this offense, I'm licking my chops simply because I know what you can and you can't do. When everybody's spread around, I know what you can and can't do. I'm not worried about whatever. So now all we got to do is keep our lanes, shut down the middle, make him beat us outside, make him beat us throwing the football. And I think that's what Cleveland's going to do. But both teams are going to be amped up. Divisional game. Baltimore obviously coming off of a loss, and Cleveland coming off of a win, a thumping that they put on the Titans. So and to go back home after that, and I think as I've said before, Deshaun Watson has a lot to prove. He hasn't been playing up to par. He's overthrown a lot of receivers, but he stepped in today and threw the ball well. So this is a guy that he's trying to get his career back on track, especially after everything that went down. I mean, look, if they pick up the blitzes, if they pick up, if they pick up everything that Baltimore is going to throw at him, when you get back there, I think he beats Lamar out, throwing his football around the football field. But once again, it's divisional game. It's going to be crazy, but I'm really just not impressed with this OC. I'm not impressed with his scheme. I'm not impressed with how he's using them, because when it's all said and done, I honestly think Lamar's going to get hurt once again.
Oof.
That sucks.
That's rough.
It sucks, man. But I mean, once again,
that
as
just
I
like
say,
took my breath away. Holy
yeah,
shit.
I'm not being any kind of way, but at the end of the day, once again, guys, you have an elite player at number 8. When you take away his targets and his instinct is to run, we have 11 elite guys on defense: agility, speed, power. I mean, a couple times today, people could have took his head off. They didn't. They just either landed on top of him or pushed him and took him down. I mean, Cleveland's not going to just push him out of bounds. They're going to try to hurt him. I mean, this is the divisional game. This is the type of game that I played in when I was with Baltimore. We played Cleveland, we played Pittsburgh, we played Cincinnati. We did everything we could to hurt them. I did that all the time anyways, but nevertheless, just didn't like these two teams don't like each other. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Like, with Lamar running around, if he take hits, these men are going to try to hurt him.
That's an unfortunate reality. And, for you being so candid about what it's like to be on that field. I mean, I understand, man, just, as a fan, this game means a lot because Cleveland's on the cusp of being a really good football team again. and you got four powerhouses in this conference that can go on a hot streak at any minute, and every divisional game counts. Every
Yeah.
conference game counts. So like losing today, I don't want this to be the game that, come late December, early January when we're looking at playoff seeding, that this game is the difference between us going on the road to Cincinnati in week one or having a home game week one or, week one of the postseason, to where
Wild card.
this could have all been avoided if we would have just gotten our shit together early.
Right. I'm with it, man.
Oh
I mean,
man,
it makes sense.
that you make a lot of sense. You make too much sense, man. I don't like that you're this goddamn smart, Bernard.
Dude, everybody look at it. Everybody look at it as me hating. I tell people all the time, I will never. I don't know Lamar. I don't. I mean, Coach Harbaugh and I, we've gotten a chance to talk, and we are good.
That's good to hear.
I'm talking football. You know what I mean? Like I want people to understand that me and Coach Harbaugh are good. Got an opportunity to just put it out there, and we both did, and we're cool. And so, when I talk ball, I'm talking about what I see. I'm talking what I see on the football field, and what I see on the football field is an offensive coordinator who doesn't know what to do right now, and he's just resorting back to, okay, let me allow Lamar to kind of get going, but getting going is looking more like last year, the year before, and the year before that. It's just looking like that in my offense spread. And even they went big package later in the game today, which looked like Greg Roman's offense. So when it's all said and done, man, like that was my concern when they were talking about bringing in the OC and pairing him up with Lamar. Like Lamar is special. I understand that he is special, but he's not special without those legs. It's leg first, arm second. If you're talking about an elite quarterback, it's arm first, leg second, and it's flipped with him. And I see a lot of trouble happening in Baltimore with him having this mentality of, I got to be Superman. I got to get the first down. I got to run the ball. I got to score. Oh, yeah, I got to throw the ball too. And when throwing the ball comes third and fourth for a quarterback, that's bad.
Yeah. I don't want to agree with you. I used to be one of them people getting mad at you, Bernard, as we already talked about before. Man. Hey, Matt, with your damn Wi-Fi slowing down. I'm talking to Bernard. Jeez. That's like 3 times you did it to me, didn't Bernard?
Hey, Matt, you got to get off your neighbor's Wi-Fi, bro.
Don't get him to
man, I let it slide like 3 times. And I'm like, oh, you ain't cut me off again.
My bad, man. My bad. I knew you loved it, man.
Done?
My bad.
Are y'all done?
I know you love it. I'm done.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
Bernard, before we let you go, man, before we wrap the show, I just wanted to ask you a question about something you just mentioned. I know that you said that you talked to John and you guys are good. Are you at the point to where you think he's going to extend the invite to come back to the bank? He's been having a lot of former players come through recently.
That invitation has always been there. I could come back to Baltimore if I wanted to come today. I could be there. So I mean that's not the problem. And as I don't even know I don't know if I told you, Matt, but when all the guys came for the Super Bowl, my grandmother was sick, and so she literally was like dying. And thank God she's better now. But yeah, that's why I didn't come back for the reunion. But everybody kept me. I mean, the guys were sending me videos and pictures and texts. Avante, Kerry, all the dudes, Terrell, all of them. So I got a chance to talk to everybody, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, no, the invitation has always been there. I still get all of, whatever Baltimore sends out, I get emails, gifts, whatever it may be. And Baltimore still goes down as the best organization I've ever played for. They're phenomenal, and I'm forever grateful. I thank God for allowing me to, us to cross paths and me to play. There was some stuff that went down in Baltimore with Coach Harbaugh and I. But once again, like I said, me and him talked. We got an opportunity to put everything out there. And we, like I said, honest to God, we are good. We talk. I talked to him, what was it? About a month and a half. What's it, September? So I talked to him in August. Talked to him in August. And I mean, we cleared the air. And, I commend him. You know what I mean? Like, a grown man. We had a grown man conversation and we good. So yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good because Josh and I both got excited, Bernard, because we finally saw C-Mac, Chris McAllister.
I was just getting ready to say
on
that.
The sidelines. Yeah. It was nice to see because he wasn't around for a long time, and it's nice to see that they're
should be in the Ring of Honor.
Ray Rice too. I know that. Seeing Ray back with the organization, that's a nice thing. Everybody deserves a second chance, and
right.
He was part of the Super Bowl team. But Bernard, I want to thank you for joining the show, man. It's been great catching up with you and talking some ball.
Man.
Hope the Ravens can bounce back. And before we let you go, man, let everybody know on our end what you got going on. I know that you've been filming some content on your own.
Yeah, man. Matt, first and foremost, man, I'm always appreciative to be able to come on with you boys and talk ball and laugh and but man, I'm literally, bro, we got 4 kids and I was doing, looking to do some things to film content on my own, but I'm just too busy training these DBs, training these football players, and then coaching. I coach my 7-year-old boy. I coach, still coach my boy who's a sophomore in high school. And we got 4 kids, brother. So I'm talking about my youngest girl plays travel softball. My oldest girl plays club volleyball. Both boys play basketball and football. So we everywhere all the time. So I literally, like for me, this is, I think this is probably the most I'm going to be able to do as far as just kind of jump on, be a guest for a lot of people. Had some networks trying to get me to come on with them. I just can't. The time these kids are time consuming. So this should be birth control for all you suckers who don't like to pull out. Y'all need to start pulling out. So yeah, man. But no, bro. We cooling, brother. It's the kids, the wife, man, family is just really, man, we're blessed. And God's been good, bro. So literally just doing that, taking pictures. I'm a photographer. I'm the team photographer for club volleyball, for travel softball. I'm the coach for my youngest son's flag football, and then my oldest boy. They scared to allow me to coach. They scared of greatness. They scared to be checked. But I'm coaching him. So he gets coached up. He comes to the sideline, and I'm he gonna hear my voice over everybody. So I'm coaching him up as he goes in. So that's what I'm doing, brother. Family, man. Family.
That's awesome.
And are you still with Ally Racing?
Oh yeah, still with Ally, still going to races, still watching races. I'll be in Miami, going to that race at Homestead, and hopefully going to the championship race in November in Arizona. So yeah, Ally is big shout out to them. I love everybody. T, J, K, who else I'm missing? A, B. Oh my gosh, I'm E1. Oh my gosh, dude, it's Mariah, all my homies. They're my homies. So many people. I love them cats, man. I love them so much. Aiden, oh my gosh, man. So yeah, it's a little bit of everybody. I can't shout everybody out, but yeah, I can go down the list, man. Cody, yeah, as the names popping up, it's just going. So yeah, y'all better shut me down now. Jordan, oh, that's my dog too. But yeah, so yeah.
Well, that's great, man. I'm glad that you got a chance to hop on with us, and you're more than welcome to come back anytime you got some free time, and then we're on air. Josh, let's go ahead and sign the show off, man, and we'll chat for a couple minutes in post show. All right, Bernard.
All right, Wi-Fi. Thanks for coming on, Bernard. I really appreciate it. And Ravens fans, I don't have nothing to say about this one. I just want to get out. I just want to forget it even happened. Let's move on to the Browns.
Cool beans, man. Appreciate y'all for having me, boys.
Thanks, man.
All right, y'all.
Did you really just call me
bud.
Wi-Fi?
I did. Nah, man, like 3 times.